This is a short video about how to use Google Voice to replace your regular phone service. Google Voice is a um, free service provided by Google to allow you to make phone calls from a either a from a Hangouts app or from your own cell phone or from any kind of other internet phone to call any other regular phone numbers or from any other phone numbers to call your Google Voice number. So it's a free service that allows you to replace um, your regular phone service with a the so-called voice over internet or voice over IP service. In order to set up the entire uh, thing, you have to sort of go through several steps. First of all, you need to have a Google account. This step is usually not a problem if you are using Gmail for quite a while. A Google account is the same as a Gmail account. So if you have a Gmail account, you automatically have a Google account. And this Google account actually has lots of uh, lots of services that's associated with it. Google Voice is one of those Google services or Google applications that's connected to your Google account. So the second step is to set up your Google Voice. Basically, you have to pick a Google Voice number. That Google Voice number is actually a regular phone number, and you can pick your own uh, Google Voice number that's in your area, right? And you can sort of use it just like a normal phone number, right? That's a Google Voice setup. It also allows you to set up many other things like voicemail, um, uh, voicemail transcribe. If you want to transcribe to your voicemail and email it to your Gmail account, that kind of thing. And then the Google Voice is like a service, but this service also needs a user interface. And Google Hangouts is the kind of a user interface that's provided by Google Voice service. So once you have Google Voice account set up and all the services binded to it, you can sort of install Hangouts. You can install Hangouts. Hangouts is an application that can run either in the browser, if you are using your browser in your computer, then you don't really need to install any kind of additional applications. But if you want to use Hangouts on your personal cell phone, for example, then you do need to install a Hangouts app. And this app exists either in the iPhone App Store or in the Android Play Store. Right, you can download it and install it on your own personal cell phone. Of course, sometimes you don't want to use your personal cell phone in your office. If that's the case, you have to purchase a handset that's going to sit on your desk. One possibility is to use the so-called analog telephone adapter or ATA. It's an adapter that allows you to connect a phone, and then the adapter itself is connected to the Ethernet port, right? And OB200 is one of the popular choices for an adapter. Of course, you can purchase a internet phone or IP phone or VoIP phone. If you Google VoIP phone, you can find lots of choices and with different prices. So let's go through all those steps one at a time, right? We're gonna start with setting up the Google account. Um, if you want to sort of set up a Google account, you have to go to this particular address. It's called accounts.google.com, and I have a web browser. That's right here. Right? That's accounts. If I type accounts.google.com, and then it's gonna bring me to this particular web page, right? So if you have an account, all you have to do is to enter your Gmail address and then do next, click next, then it's going to ask you for the password and then you can sign into it. But if you don't have a Gmail account, you can click on create account. And then all those icons that's listed below are all the different services provided by Google. For example, Google Drive. Some of you, if you are using Google Drive, right? And then this is Chrome. This is YouTube. This is Google Map, Gmail, right? All those are popular apps provided by Google, but Google's services are not limited to those apps. Google Voice is one of them, but it's not listed here. So if you want to create an account, you just click on create account. Then it's going to take you to this particular page. You have to put in your name, choose a username, which is basically your Gmail account, create password, birthday, that kind of thing. I'll just go through this thing very quickly. I'll just enter some arbitrary sort of stuff just to create a fake account to just show you guys how this can be done. Mobile phone. I'll just do current my current email address. I don't want to sort of putting my current email address. So prove you are not a skip this verification, phone verification. Oh, if I want to do this thing, it's not a very difficult number, so I'll just putting my difficult agree to it, and then you can just click on next step. Your new me, it's telling me my new email address is this particular. It's poachandmental@gmail.com, and then if I click on continue, then it's gonna take me to my account. So now I have a Gmail account and also a Google account. It's gonna give me all the services that's kind of associated with it. The next step is to set up a Google Voice service. To set up a Google Voice service, all you have to do is to go to this particular web address, google.com/voice. Then you have to enter a bunch of other information. /voice. You have to click on this box and then to click on proceed. Then it's set up your Google Voice number. Now you have to sort of pick a Google Voice number. You can choose a brand new number from Google or use your existing mobile number to get the full set of Google service features. So if you wanna port your existing mobile number, you have to click here. If you want to port your existing your existing mobile number, if you have a cell phone and you have a cell phone number on it, right? If you want to keep using that, if you want to use that number as your Google Voice number, you have to click on this button. I think there's a fee about $20 to port your existing mobile number. If you want to port a landline numbers, for example, the office phone that you are actually using right now, it's a landline number, right? If you want to port a landline number, you cannot do that directly. You have to port that landline number to a mobile number. AT&T actually provides this kind of service, so you can port any landline number to a AT&T mobile number. Once you have ported your existing landline number to that AT&T mobile number, you can port that mobile number to this Google Voice number. But there's some additional fees. If you want to port your landline number to AT&T mobile number, it costs about $50, I think, right? Maybe I remember it wrong. So if you want to port a landline number to a Google Voice number, it will cost you about $70 per number. Right? But if you want a new number, then there's no cost. You can just click on I want a new number. Then it's gonna ask you to sort of add a forwarding phone. So every time if people call that Google Voice number, this forwarding phone is gonna ring, right? So if you want all the phone calls that to your Google Voice number to be forwarded to different numbers, to different existing phone numbers, you can sort of enter those phone numbers here. So if people call my voice number, Google Voice number, it's gonna this particular cell phone is gonna ring actually, and then I'm telling it it's a mobile number, right? And then I click on continue. If I click on call me now, and then Google is gonna place a call to that phone number, and then it's gonna ask me for this particular 2-digit number, and I have to enter 08 on that phone, on this particular phone, right? Enter 08, and then the next screen it's gonna allow me to choose a phone number. So I'm gonna do that right now, and I'll be back in just a minute. So after you have finished entering the 2-digit verification code, it's gonna bring you to this particular screen. It's asking you to choose a number. So when anyone calls this number, it will ring all of your phones, basically all of your forwarding phones, all the phones that you have sort of entered. It's gonna allow you to enter more forwarding phones on the web page later on, right? So the first thing you're gonna do is to pick an area or zip code or city. So if you are in Laramie, you can do, that's gonna be the zip code, right? And then I'm gonna click on search numbers, and then it's gonna show you all the available Google Voice numbers. Right? You can just pick any one of them. If you don't like any one of them, you can click on next. right? It's gonna give you more choices. So I'm gonna just pick the first one because it's just an arbitrary number. It doesn't really matter. And then you can just click on continue. After you have finished picking a Google Voice number, you're gonna be brought to this kind of a page actually. So here I actually have switched back to my actual Gmail account, Google Voice account. So all those things that's been listed here are past voicemails. That's the voicemails that was recorded by your Google Voice account basically. So here you are actually in the inbox. So here you can actually listen to your existing voicemails. Right. So just click on the play button. Right. You can call back just right away from your web browser if you have Hangouts installed, and you have other actions. Right. Um, so if you click on this text, these texts that's being displayed here are actually transcribed voice. So Google is gonna sort of translate your voice into text. Right? And you can also sort of ask Google Voice to email this transcribed text to your Gmail account or to your other email accounts. Right? So, but before you can actually do all of those things, you have to set up your account correctly. So, how do you actually set up your account? You have to sort of click on your Google Voice numbers that you just picked. This is actually my actual Google Voice number. So if you click on it, it's going to take you to the settings page. You have several tabs for the settings page: phones, voicemail and text, calls, groups and circling, billing, account. Right. So at this particular settings page, the first for the phones tab, it's listing the Google Voice number that you have just picked. If you want to change it or port a different number, if you want to port your mobile number, or if you want to port a landline to a mobile number and then port that mobile number to a Google Voice number, you have to sort of click here. And delete if you want to delete this number. Transfer. So if you have opened a new Gmail account, for example, and you would like to continue to use your old Google Voice number, you can transfer that Google Voice number to your new Gmail account or new Google account, that kind of thing. Right? I'm not going to do that here. And then forwards calls to, for example, Google Chat. Google Chat is more like an old service. It's been it's been integrated into a so-called Google Hangouts. So Hangouts is a kind of application that allows you to do both voice, text, and videos together in just one application, right? Chat is more like just the message part, the text part, right? So, but for some reason, it's kind of default forward calls to Google Chat is being clicked by default. If you want to add other phones, you can click on add another phone. That's gonna be your new forwarding phone. So every time people call the Google Voice number, it's gonna ring this phone also. So I have verified my mobile number, and then it's gonna sort of ask me to pick some options, notify me of new voicemails via text. This kind of text is your mobile phone's cellular service data plan, right? If you have this kind of so this text is gonna cost you money. It's gonna cost you money because it's a mobile cellular data plan. And you can also choose to activate Google Voicemail on this particular phone. So so your new voice so if you have a mobile phone or if you have a cellular phone, it has its own it has its voicemail service, right? That's from your data plan also. That's from your cell phone plan, right? If you have a plan with a particular carrier, right? But you can use Google Voicemail to replace your own cellular plan voicemail service. So the next time people call you at this particular Google Voice number that's being forwarded to this particular number, then it's Google Voice that's gonna do the recordings and uh, give you the Google Voicemail service. If you want to do more settings about voicemail, you can click on the voicemail and text tab. You can record new greetings, play, record, and set up pings. Here, it's a very important thing that's called a transcribe voicemails. So if you actually click on this tab box, it's going to transcribe your voicemail and convert it into text and then send it to your Gmail account or any other email account that you choose to use, right? And then caller ID, call screening. You can sort of set your calling options. Groups and circles, groups and circles. But this is not exactly how you can where you set up your conference calls. Right? This is kind of a misleading. This is just telling you to set up groups of like co-workers, friends, that kind of thing. But if you want to do conference calls, all you have to do is to ask your collaborators to call your Google Voice number at about the same time. So their calls are gonna come in to your Hangouts, or your Hangouts could be installed either in the browser or in your on your cell phone. If it's on your cell phone, then you can sort of do the conference call on your cell phone. All you have to do is to add those numbers into the same conversation, and then you are sort of in the conference call. And Hangouts actually allows you to do that for free. It's not up to 10 people. And then billing, you have a list of prices for example, international calls, that kind of thing. For example, if you want to look up a calling rate, view all rates, if I click on view all rates, it's gonna list all the prices for. So France 6 cents per minute, India 1 cent per minute, Mexico 5 cents per minute, United States nothing, it costs nothing. And then it's comparing with other sort of internet companies. Right? If you want to, if these countries are, if the countries you are trying to call is not listed here, you can sort of click on show all rates, and then it's gonna list all the countries, right? So if you want to look at China, you have these two things. If it's if it's mobile, if you're calling a mobile number in China, it's 1 cent per minute. If you're calling a landline number, it's also 1 cent per minute. That's in China. And if you want to do, um, let me see, Spain, for example, Spain, right? Spain landline number. Mobile number is 3 cents per minute for Spain. Landline number is 1 cent per minute, right? So in fact, most of the European countries are quite cheap. China, India, and Mexico are relatively cheap. So that's the billing rate for international calls. And then the last one is last tab is accounts. This part is like the entry point for other account settings, right? Password, security questions, that kind of thing. And after you have finished doing that, you are pretty much done with all the settings basically. Um, Next time, if you want to change your settings, you can go back here, and click on this number, and then you're gonna change your settings. Here, I'm gonna sort of check off this forwarding phone number uh, because uh, because of another issue that I'm gonna talk about later on. After you have finished setting up your Google Voice number, if you go to your Gmail account, that's by just typing gmail.com, and then you're gonna get a welcome message from Google Voice in your Gmail account. So that's the welcome message. Welcome to Google Voice. And this actually has a tremendous amount of information in it. This is actually quite important email. You should probably just keep it in your inbox. And it's got lots of attachments. That's very short YouTube videos. Each of the video is just a few minutes long, 1 minute or 2 minutes long. It's telling you basically the different kind of capabilities for Google Voice, how you can actually use it for example, block callers, right? How do you want to do block callers in Google Voice? um, Screen callers, that kind of thing, mobile app, conference call, for example, right? How do you actually do conference calls using Google Voice? And of course, voicemail transcription. Voicemail transcription, it's also a very important capability for Google Voice. Um, it's a very important email. So after you have finished setting up your Google Voice account with all the correct configurations, then the next thing you have to do is to have the Hangouts set up for you. If you are using the browser, if you are using your computer as your terminal for making phone calls or video calls or text messaging, then the Hangouts app runs in your browser. You don't really need to install anything. All you have to do is to browse to this particular web address. So if I do that, if I just type Hangouts. Then I am actually coming to my Google Hangouts webpage. It's a web application. It's a web application basically. It's an application that runs in your browser, right? So here you have like 3 buttons. You can make phone calls, you can make video calls, you can do text message, and it doesn't have to be all the the friends or the numbers that's listed in your contact. It doesn't have to be. If you want to make a phone call, you can basically call any number. It doesn't have to be the numbers that I have called before. It can be any number. It could be a Google Voice number, could be a landline number, could be a mobile number, any number. If it's in the US, it doesn't cost you anything. Or US or Canada, it doesn't cost you anything. If it's international call, you have to first of all pick the country. Pick the country, right? Um, suppose I want to call China, for example, and then type either the landline number or the mobile phone number, and then your conversation is going to be charged to your Google account. For now, I have 6 cents left in it. So if I'm calling in China, this amount of money allows me to talk for about 6 minutes or something. Right? So, so that's how you can actually make a phone call just directly from your browser. You can also do text messages. Text messages, you can do text messages to any kind of mobile phone number if they have a messaging app, or any kind of Google Voice number. Right, or any friends that's listed here. You can also do video calls. If you click on video calls, then it's gonna you must have a camera. You have, if you are doing it from your desktop must have a camera. If you are doing it on your cell phone, then the cell phone must have a front-facing camera, so you can record your face. And that's pretty much it. If you are sort of doing everything on your computer, but you don't have to sort of use your computer as your sort of portal for connecting to Google Voice or use any kind of a Google Voice service. So if you want to just use your cell phone, oh, by the way, all the messages that goes through Hangouts are encrypted, so your communications are perfectly safe. Perfectly safe. It's actually encrypted using the best technology, and it's practically impossible to crack this kind of encryption that's provided by Google. So your communication is perfectly safe. And the part that's not safe is actually the the voice the landline or the mobile carriers. Right? That's probably sort of controlled by the carrier itself. It's not controlled by Google. Everything that's controlled by Google is perfectly it's encrypted, and there's no way to crack it. So if you want to sort of install a Hangouts application on your cell phone, I am actually using an Android, so I'll talk about Android cell phone, how to actually set up things on your Android cell phone. The first thing you have to do is to download some applications from the Google Play Store. Basically, I myself installed like 3 applications. The Hangouts dialer, it's gonna give you a dialer, because if you want to use your cell phone to replace any kind of a regular phone, then you're gonna need a dialer, right? And then the Hangouts application itself, and then one more application that's called Google Voice service. They are in the process of integrating all these 3 applications into just one application that's called Hangouts. So in the future, you don't need Hangouts dialer. You don't need Google Voice. All you need to do is to install just Hangouts. This one application, that's enough. But at the point that I was installing stuff and I was testing stuff, I still needed the Hangouts dialer for the Hangouts application to have a dialer in it, and I also need the Google Voice application for Hangouts to be able to receive voicemail recordings and transcript voicemails, that kind of thing. So I installed both applications. But in the future, you don't need these 2 applications. So after you have finished installing the Hangouts, you can just open it. You can just open that Hangouts app, and then after you have opened the Hangouts app, on the upper left corner, you are going to see 3 horizontal lines. You just click that 3 horizontal lines. It's going to give you this kind of setup page. It's going to give you this setup page. You've got lots of settings. You've got lots of settings, and if you want to add Google Voice accounts, all you have to do is to click here, and then it's going to allow you to add account. This account is the same as your Gmail account. I have a Gmail account already that's set up already, but if I want to add more Gmail accounts, I can sort of go here just by clicking on on this particular icon, and then it can allow you to it's going to allow you to add more accounts to it, Gmail accounts. Those Gmail accounts are the same as your Google Voice accounts. So once you have added a Gmail account, you have added a Google Voice account basically. And then it's going to take you to this kind of screen. If you want to make phone calls, you can just click click on this part. If you want to do voicemail or do text messages, you can click this part, text messages. Right? If you want to sort of make a phone call, click here, and then you're going to see this particular dialer here. Right? You can click on this dialer, and then it's going to give you these numbers, these numbers, this number pad, and then you can just click on any of those numbers to just like dialing a normal phone. Exactly the same process. And then if you want to do text messages, you can click here, right? And then you have a plus button here. If you click on this plus button, you can do text messages to any of the Google Voice numbers or cell phone numbers that can receive text messages. Right? If you just click on plus, it's gonna ask you to enter a number or something. Right? And then if you want to sort of do more configuration stuff, if you want to do more configurations, you have to go to the, again, let's bring up this particular page, right? This page was brought up by clicking that 3 horizontal lines on the upper left corner, right? And then you can click on settings. After you click on settings, you'll have this page. You can configure your Google Voice number. The important thing is that if you want people to, if you want Google Voice to direct all the calls to your Hangouts app, to this particular app, instead of to your own cell phone number or cell phone service, then you have to sort of check on this particular option, incoming phone calls, messages. Check on these two particular boxes. Turn it on. So all the phone calls that goes to your Google Voice is going to go directly into your Hangouts app. This is kind of slightly different from forwarding, right? It's different from forwarding. Right? Another option is to forward any calls to the Google Voice to any other numbers. But in that case, if you are doing a forwarding, you are still using your cellular plan. You are still using your cell phone plan, right? Because the connection from that Google Voice to your own cell phone number is provided by your cellular plan. But if you actually turn on these two options, so then all the incoming phone calls and the messages are going to go directly to your Hangouts app. So it's all covered by internet. It doesn't involve your cellular plan in any way. Right? And then Google Voice SMS, you can choose Google Voice SMS. It's going to have subsettings. You can click on it, and then it's going to ask you to pick some kind of a notification choice. Of course, you can also pick your own ringtone, right? So everything that goes into Hangouts are going to have a different kinds of ringtone than everything that goes through your cellular plan or cell phone plan. So if you would like to use Hangouts as your voicemail receiver, so if you want to see, if you look at my message part of the app, you can sort of see I missed a video call, and then I have a new voicemail here, so I can see my voicemails in my Hangouts app. Right? I don't really have to sort of go to the web page, go to Google Voice to listen to my voicemail. All my voicemail are being forwarded to my Hangouts app just in the message tab. Just like every other message, I can sort of play it here. This one is 6 seconds long. I can play it and listen to my voicemail in the Hangouts app directly on my cell phone. So if I want to do that, at the point I'm doing this video, you still need the Google Voice app. So basically, you have to sort of go to the Google Voice app settings, click on Sync and Notification. Click on Sync and Notification, and then you have Sync and Notification settings. You have to, by default, voicemail notifications are checked. This box is checked. You have to uncheck it. You have to uncheck it, and then in the Google Voice app, in the Google Hangouts app. This is in the Hangouts app. You have to turn on the message, choose the sound for voicemail SMS, choose the notification method for Google Voice SMS, Google Voice voicemail, right? And then you're pretty much done for receiving Google voicemail in your Hangouts message app, Hangouts message tab, I mean, right? And then that's how you can actually set up Hangouts on your cell phone if you are using an Android phone. The last one is an adapter. I myself have not tried Adaptor yet, but one of the popular adapter is called Obitalk. Obitalk, OBI Talk. You can Google it, right? It works pretty well with Google Voice, and it's actually quite popular. And if you go to this particular web page, go to their own homepage, they have YouTube videos explaining how to set up Obitalk to work with Google Voice. So this kind of Obi device or Obitalk box is just acts as adapter. So it's got two ports. One is a phone port, so you can connect any kind of existing regular telephone into that phone port. And then it's got an Ethernet port, and you can connect that Ethernet port to any of your Ethernet service, either a router or a Ethernet port on your wall. You can connect to that, and then after some settings, you can sort of make phone calls on your regular phone now, but through internet instead of through the regular phone service. The 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 setup is relatively simple, but in addition to setting up the Google Voice account, you will have to set up the Obi device through a particular web page. And that setup process is kind of similar to setting up the Hangouts application, either on your cell phone or on your browser. It's relatively straightforward, but you still need to sort of go through that kind of process in order to use this particular device.